Alright, I promise this will probably be the last video I make on exotic class armor, but just gotta share that the exotic duplication glitch is officially back on the menu. But before you start doing backflips and popping off, I have to warn you, this is severely more involved than the original duplication glitch. I am a seasoned player, and even I had to practice this a few times before really getting it down to a science. In short, it's easy to F up if you've never messed around with Duping before, aka out of bounding. Shout out to Rhythm for his original video on this method, which I'll link in the video description. Go check him out. Okay, we're gonna go over the following. 1, how to do the new dupe glitch. Then 2, how does this stack up against the other go-to method, aka actively farming around the pale heart in a circle opening chests on repeat. I have a few thoughts and some light numbers on each, but TLDR, if you're good, the new duplication glitch method is definitely worth your time. Alright, first up, how to do the new duplication glitch. Step 1, do the dual destiny mission like you normally would. Step 2, when you get to the very end, before you cross the bridge and enter the final light and dark plate room, between you and your partner, change characters and rejoin one at a time. Obviously, don't both leave at the same time or you'll have to redo the entire mission. Have one player change their character and pick the same character, obviously, then rejoin, then have the other player do the exact same thing. While you're doing that, pick up 3 weapons in particular: Salvation's Grip, Mountaintop, and an Eager Edge sword. Also, if you can, if you have one, bring a navigator as well. It isn't needed, but it will make this easier. I'll show you later. Alright, now that you've both changed characters and rejoined, make sure you have Salvation's Grip equipped, then both of you go over the bridge and stand on the plates. When you're teleported in for the final challenge, both of you should take the peace option. Okay, now you die and you respawn in. Try to jump as often as you can as both of you approach one of the exotic class items. Do a 3, 2, 1 go countdown and pick up the armor at the exact same time. After you've done that, again continue jumping and jump off the map. Do not run off the map and do not stay in one place for too long. Jump off the map. Alright, step 3, push your respawn point back. Here's what that means. The reason why I'm having you jump a lot is because if you stay on the ground in one spot for too long, the game is going to set that spot you're standing as your new respawn point if you were to die. For example, in this clip, I go stand in this one particular spot for a few seconds, then repeatedly jump my way to the exotic armor, get it, and then jump off the map. And now look where the game respawned me, back in that area where I briefly stood still. Your new goal is to push your respawn point back so far that we go way back to a spot earlier in the mission. Here's how we do that. With Salvation's Grip, you're going to back up and fire a charged up shot or 2 at the floor, basically on the exact spot where you respawned. Do this quickly or do it while jumping repeatedly, and then when you've littered the floor with crystals, get yourself into the air and kill yourself by firing a regular grenade shot at a wall when you're close enough to blow yourself up. You'll know you're successful if when you respawn in a new location in the same room. The TLDR on what is happening here is that you're using the crystals generated by Salvation to literally clutter and block your respawn point. The game knows it can't respawn you inside of a giant bunch of stasis crystals, so it moves your respawn point somewhere else. You'll fail if you respawn in the exact same spot near the crystals where you just were. If you successfully do this trick about 3 times in a row, you'll respawn way back in the mission around right here. Here's an example of me doing it correctly and pushing my spawn all the way back to the other area. Again, remember it'll take around 3 successful attempts to go all the way back.
Guardian down. Guardian down.
Now, before we continue, there's a way you can practice doing this, which I strongly recommend you do before doing the Dual Destiny mission. Load up the King's Fall raid, drop a rally flag, and begin to practice. If you're really accurate, you can get away with firing just one charge-up shot down at the floor where your spawn point was. I like to back up a half a foot or so and fire 2 charge-up shots kind of right next to each other on the floor. Then I jump away and do a tap fire shot at a nearby wall where you're close enough to blow yourself up. Do yourself a big favor and practice that a few times before trying the real thing. Okay, back to Dual Destiny. Do that move correctly 3 times in a row and you'll respawn in here, way back around the green room jumping puzzle area. Congratulations, you're now halfway done with the annoying part. Now you and your partner take turns, one at a time, turn around and run backwards towards the beginning of the mission until you hit a new loading zone. It should only take about a few seconds. You'll know you've hit the loading zone when you see the new area text appear in the bottom left of your HUD. When you get that text, turn right back around and run to where you just were. Again, have each of you do this but one at a time. While your partner is running to get to the new load zone, you should equip both a mountaintop and an eager edge sword. You should actually put on a double special loadout. Make sure you have 0 ammo in both guns. That way you just give it a little bit of time and the game will eventually give you free pity ammo for your mountaintop. To repeat, after you hit that new load zone, turn around and head back to the exact spot where you spawned in, and when you both have done that, you can now continue running forward through the mission like normal. When you get to this exact room, we'll now have to do a little bit of tricky out of bounding. Follow the path I'm showing you right now. The short version of what we're doing is using the mountaintop to kind of rocket jump up to the top left side of the room. Again, continue the route I show now. Okay, when you're at the top of this ledge, we're now at the hardest part of the out of bounding. Do what I'm about to show you and you should be home free. Your goal is to do some form of the following. To recap, fall way down, zoom under the giant ledge with an eager edge sword, and manage to reach this platform all the way off on the far left. I highly recommend that depending on what class you and your teammate are playing on, you use the following combinations. If you're both playing Hunter, have one Hunter be Strand with a grapple grenade and one Hunter be Prismatic with a grapple grenade. If you're both playing Titan, have one Titan be Strand with a grapple grenade and one Titan be on Arc with Thunder Crash. The goal there being to pop Thunder Crash and reach the ledge. If you're both playing Warlock, have one Warlock be Strand with a grapple grenade and one Solar Heat Rises Warlock. For the Solar Warlock player, your path is going to be a little bit different, which I'll show you now. Here's a tip. If one player between the two of you has more experience doing out of bounds type stuff and they get to the ledge first without needing to use a Strand grapple grenade, they should then put on the Navigator exotic and then fire a Strand grapple point to help their partner get to the ledge easier. Check out this clip right here. I drop down as a Hunter and my partner has left a Navigator grapple point for me to use. With that left behind, it's a piece of cake for me to get over to that ledge. Either way, when you're both over to that ledge, get your mountaintops out and continue on the path I show you now. And when you're about here, congratulations, all the hard parts are now over. Just go ahead and continue through the rest of the mission like you normally would. When you get to the final loot drop, group up together and do one final 3, 2, 1, go countdown where both you and your partner pick up the exotic at the exact same time. GG. All right, now why don't we talk about how long this method takes and if it is worth your time. The other active go-to farm is going around the landing in the Pale Heart in a particular path, grabbing each chest you find on repeat. I've looked around and read some player feedback and data that suggests that the chest method is around a 2% drop rate per chest on getting the exotic, give or take. In watching a video on that chest farm from Shadow Destiny, he mentions that if RNG is in your favor, you can get up to 4 exotic drops per hour with that method. The big keyword there being if. Technically, if your RNG is really bad, you could do that for an hour and come up with 0. I decided to run the optimized Pale Heart route for exactly 1 hour to see what would happen, and I got 2 drops total. Now, let's compare with the new duplication glitch method. Playing with a partner and moving at a decent pace, we finished the mission in about 20 minutes. Then we did the entire out of bounds trick to get our second exotic each, and that took around 10 minutes. Meaning, if you practiced and got good at this, you and a partner would each be getting 4 exotic drops per hour guaranteed using that method. So to recap, solo chest farming around the Pale Heart in a giant circle on repeat is the far easier method and impossible to F up, but the downside is you could do it for an hour and potentially get no drops if your RNG is bad. On the other hand, the new duplication glitch is way trickier and requires some practice to get good at, but the upside is you can get guaranteed drops at a respectable pace. At the end of the day, 100% up to you. By all means, give the duplication glitch a try, but again, be warned, not easy to do and you may F it up before nailing it down. Pick your poison, as they say. Thank you very much for watching. Peace!